The 10 Commandments of Startup Profit, and my last slide, which will lead into the panel. So I want to talk about each one, and we are going to distribute a little bit of a white paper. It's actually a chapter from the book, and it'll give you more information about each one. The first one is distinctive competence. If you're going to build a business, and I think a lot of investors are looking at this, if you have no experience in retail and you say, I always wanted to open up a retail business, that's a risky proposition. It doesn't mean it won't succeed, but it's a risky way to go. Why not build a business where you have some proven competence? And you can bet when you're seeking funding, investors are going to be looking for that, and they're going to have more confidence if you pick an area where you have some proven experience or competence. Next area, superior value proposition. If you take the time up front to put together a value proposition where your customers almost can't say no. In the business that we built, we came up with a value proposition that was typically 10 to 1. You spend $1, you get $10 in benefit. We got to a point where we had enough confidence in our value proposition that we would talk to large companies and we would say, hey, we can save you about 40 million bucks. Our contracts were typically 5 years in duration, so we were able to accumulate that over a 5-year span. We got to a point where we had built enough of a cash trove that we were able to say, hey, we'll save you 40 million bucks. And they would say, well, how can we trust that or believe it? And we said, we'll give you the first million up front in cash. And that threw our competition into turmoil because we were a small upstart company and we were able to do that. The larger competitors on our right and our left didn't have the flexibility to do that. They were hamstrung by being public and other issues related. Next area, don't start up until. It really kind of comes down to a profitable business model, but what does that mean? That means don't start up until you know how you're going to make money. You know what your middle line is. You know what the profit potential is, when you're going to hit break even. It's what I call a profitable business model. Take charge of the money and control it. It's interesting, I was talking with Amit at the beginning of the meeting, and he said, I write every check for my company. And I said, wow, that's great. You stay close to the money. You understand how much you're making and how much you're spending, so you can slow the spigot down if things get ahead of themselves. And I was very much that way. I knew, for the first year, every night, I knew every penny we made and every penny we spent. And then it shifted to weekly, and then it shifted to monthly about 10 years out. So I knew how much money we were spending. And it was important because I could turn the spigot and slow things down if we were getting ahead of ourselves. Next area, create a profit-based reward structure. So what do I mean by that? Every company has a sales force. They have a choice. You can compensate your sales force based on revenue, a percentage of the revenue that they bring in, or you can pay them a percentage of the profit that they bring in. If you pay them a percentage of profit, then you turn them into a virtual P&L manager, because when they sell, they're going to make damn sure that they make a profit. And that works for everybody, and it's a simple thing. But there's a lot of companies that are still paying off the top line where the salesperson makes money and the company loses money. Next area, lightning in a bottle. As a company matures, the questions that you raise is, I was only so smart, so I needed other people that could take the company to places that I frankly couldn't take it. And some of those people that I brought on, they wanted equity. They wanted to get involved, and I gave it to them readily. And those people changed the face of our business and enabled it to grow and become the Inc. 500 company that it came, and ultimately sell it. And frankly, some of those people that were lightning in a bottle challenged me a lot. And sometimes it was a headache. But I always knew when I went to bed at night, by bringing those kind of people on board, that the company was better and that we were going to be able to attain our goals better. Number 7, create profit centers to scale your business. The number one issue why businesses fail is premature scaling. A way to put a control on that if you've got an East Coast operation, you're opening up a West Coast operation, find a qualified manager, give them a profits interest in the business that they're building, and then you don't have to worry about whether you're going to be able to keep the lights on, and you're probably going to build your business and succeed even better. Number 8, proprietary technology. Once we built our outsourcing business, we took a step back and we were listening again to our customers, and they said, hey, we need this kind of information and that kind. So we decided, let's have a study done. We had a study done, and then we went back to our original goal, which is let's build something at 20% of the cost from a technology service standpoint that meets 80% of the need. And that brand right now, it's called Sequentra, and it's one of the most significant databases in the real estate outsourcing field today. Last 2, build a financial war chest. That war chest enabled us to be able to meet with a customer, make our value proposition, and then say, hey, we'll give you that check up front. The reason why I'm going through all this is I think if you apply some of these principles to the business that you're running, you increase your probability to achieve the success you set out for originally. The last one, behave ethically and profits will follow. We basically had a model which was we're going to make mistakes, and we told people in the company, hey, you're going to make mistakes. If you make a mistake, raise your hand. Let people know. We got to a point where our customers trusted us, so they extended the contract because they knew if we made a mistake, we would tell them. And if it was a big mistake, we would write a check and make reparation. So this whole issue of behave ethically and profits will follow is a self-fulfilling prophecy to renew and expand contracts. Now, we're going to pass out a white paper that will give you more information if you're interested. It's called the 10 Commandments of Startup Profit. It will cover a lot more than what I just said, but it'll give you more thought around each one of these 10 areas.